Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom. We got you guys on the phone lines, the text line, and over there in the YouTube chat. We got to see our YouTube chatters in person last night. Hail to the chat. Those guys showed in big numbers. We were at Legend Steakhouse last night for the State of the Union watch party. We had a blast. We had a great time. The staff at Legend Steakhouse, unbelievable. The room was fantastic. Beautiful Smyrna, Tennessee. What could you ask for more? You know, it was awesome.
Yeah, it looked like a great time.
It was. I would say, if I was just doing everybody was asking for you, by the way, Mason. I told them you had diarrhea. I told every single person that asked about you.
Rude.
Yeah, that's totally what happened. I wasn't working
but
other jobs yesterday.
I would say about 75 to 80% of the audience showed up just for you, Mason.
That's wild. Because didn't you just say that about Joan?
Busted.
Show starts at 9, Mason. You're not supposed to listen to the last break.
Listen, I'm involved in this station. I'm up to date. I'm calling your bluff.
I would say 95% of the audience there was looking for Mason and Joan.
I'm here for it.
I think that's a conservative estimate. That's what we do.
I think I would throw in a good 20% was there trying to sign Dan's head, though.
Dude, there was a lot of people that brought their own markers.
Really?
A lot of people.
Or?
No, there was like, Lola brought like every color of Sharpie on the planet.
Incredible.
There were Expo markers. The one guy was like wondering if he could use just a Bic pen. And I was like, I don't have any issue with that.
Yeah, it might leave more than just ink on the markings there.
But, you know, me and Murphy and Mandis, we all decided we'll save something for the next event.
Nice.
We'll build it up a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to.
If we can get 50 signatures on Dan's head, he'll tattoo it.
Dude, he should.
Did he keep his cap on? Is that how
he did?
Yeah.
He did. He kept the cap on all night. He had the very formal scally cap.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Very formal.
It looked good.
It looked good. I watched the stream last night. It looked good.
Hour and 48 minutes, longest State of the Union ever. Another record for President Donald J. Trump. I was looking at the Polymarket bets, dude. I swear to you, I should have bet some. I don't bet. I don't gamble.
Yeah.
But I would have cleaned up. We were like 3 minutes into the State of the Union, and he's like, we're the hottest country ever. And like 4 people turned and looked at me, and they're like, you said that was easy money. I told you. And I kept laying those points home to my wife as well as we rewatched it. I was like, yep, that would have won me $300.
Yeah.
I'm still never going to bet.
No, me neither.
As soon as I do it, everything will go to hell.
Yeah, I was listening to the latter half on the radio on my way home last night, and I was like, ooh, I should have bet my check last night.
Dude, we should have
bet it.
We should have. We'd be just a little bit less poor today. I will say this. It was a great speech. I thought Donald Trump did amazing. He gave the left plenty of opportunities to look terrible with the applause lines. And while the Democrats didn't take all the bait, they took plenty of bait to get a hook freshly implanted in their mouth. And I was here for that. Some Democrats refused to stand for the USA men's hockey team. That's not a good look. Nancy Pelosi looked absolutely hammered. Not a good look. ABC, after the speech, very complimentary. I don't know if you know this. I tried not to watch Fox News after the speech. That was like one of my goals. I was like, okay, I know what these guys are going to say. Let me go somewhere else. So I went to ABC because I think that they're terrible. So I was like, perfect. So I go to ABC. Very complimentary.
Interesting.
Overwhelmingly complimentary. One of the quotes that I wrote down from the ABC broadcast post-speech, most disciplined we've seen him in a long time, on message, and drew sharp contrast on policy with Dems.
Interesting.
So we're going to talk all about Donald Trump's speech, and I definitely want you guys to weigh in as well. 615-737-9986. But I want to begin with the dissent, and I want to begin with the dissent first. And there is a statement that I'm going to make that I am not going to make lightly. Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in America. I'll say it again for the Van Gogh listeners and those of you in the back of the class. Are you paying attention? Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in America. Full stop. She is a threat. Abigail Spanberger, and let me also say this. My wife has been on me about Abigail Spanberger for weeks now, like 2 months. saying this exact same thing. And to be fair, I kind of brushed it off. I did. Last night watching that speech, my jaw dropped a little bit, and I turned and I looked at Virginia, and I was like, you were 100% right. 200%, 1,000% right. Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in America. My wife is right. She's convinced that she's the Democrat front runner for VP. I would agree with that. I think Abigail's aspirations are a bit higher. I think, though, that would be her biting off more than she can chew. I think that vice presidential candidates, as far as the Democrats are concerned, Abigail Spanberger has to be the number one pick. She is a female Gavin Newsom without the stink of California. She is a younger, more sophisticated, more polished Hillary Clinton without the baggage of Bill. She is former CIA. And let's be honest, are you ever really former CIA, or are you still an asset? These are questions that we need to ask. And she gave a smooth, simple, calm, authoritative speech. And she lied the entire time. She lied the whole freaking time. I was losing my mind because she did it so well. She did it so well. I was floored. I did not give her the credit that she deserved, Abigail Spanberger, and I will not be making that same mistake again. She is dangerous, y'all. Full stop. Let's talk about Abigail Spanberger, shall we? Let's talk about her bio, her upbringing. She's a military brat, born in New Jersey to a U.S. Army vet, law enforcement dad. Her mom was a nurse. She moved to Henrico County. It's a suburb in Richmond. I actually lived in there. It's a nice suburb, but she was there at 13. She went to public schools. She went to UVA. She went to Purdue. She was a substitute teacher. Then she was a U.S. postal inspector, narcotics, money laundering. Then she went to the CIA in 2006 to 2014, where she specialized as a dictatorate of operations, counterterrorism, nuclear proliferation, undercover overseas assignments with multiple passports. She left the CIA for private sector consulting. Married to her high school sweetheart, a UVA engineer, 3 daughters, Protestant, and lives in Glen Allen and Henrico. She flipped a Republican-held Virginia 7th District in 2018. First Democrat to do so since 1970. Won re-election narrowly in 2020 and 2022. Decided not to run again in 2024 because she was running for governor. She won the governorship pretty handily in Virginia. And what was it, 15 points? She won that. She won that by 15 points. I mean, she crushed. Flipping that purple state back to blue. After Glenn Youngkin did an awesome job, too, by the way. Glenn Youngkin wasn't exactly a MAGA Republican. Glenn Youngkin wasn't an alt-righter. Glenn Youngkin was just a normal guy. Just a regular conservative. Like Glenn Youngkin didn't do anything where I would be like, man, what an amazing Republican example we have. But he didn't do anything where we were like, dude, you are John Thune. Like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to glaze Glenn Youngkin, but Glenn Youngkin didn't govern like a MAGA Republican. And when Glenn Youngkin campaigned, Glenn Youngkin made sure to create some distance and create some space between him and Trump because he knew the dynamics in the state of Virginia. And it's a big deal that she's the governor of Virginia. That state still holds a lot of clout, whether we like it or not. Being from Virginia, being the governor is a big deal. Her congressional record is absolutely terrible. She ran as a moderate for the governor of Virginia, but the actual votes, they're not exactly supporting that moderate claim. Now, she brands herself as a new Democrat, problem solver caucus type, the Mod Squad. Her, Mikey Sherrill, Alyssa Slotkin, the senator from Michigan, also former CIA, in case you're keeping score at home. And she doesn't have that same stink that an AOC or an Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib has. She just doesn't. But on core conservative issues, Abigail Spanberger is one of the worst. She supported assault weapons bans, universal background checks, banning bump stocks. She worked with Moms Demand Action before Congress. She is strongly pro-choice. She voted to codify Roe. She supports Virginia constitutional amendment for abortion, contraception, and fertility rights, which she's now pushing once again as governor. The economy, the taxes. She opposed the Trump tax cuts. She supported the Inflation Reduction Act. And we see what she's doing in the state of Virginia now. What is it, 50 new taxes, 51 new taxes since she became governor? That's how you run as a moderate and you rule as a far leftist. On the border, she supported border security funding but opposed the wall. She opposed Trump travel bans. And she is completely against cooperating with ICE. In fact, one of her first moves getting into the state of Virginia was eliminating that cooperation that Glenn Youngkin had in place with local authorities and ICE officials. This woman is dangerous. Big climate change believer, big Green New Scam believer. On foreign policy and national security, she's pro-Ukraine aid. Yuck. Absolute yuck. Her CIA background, it's a double-edged sword. She can act like she's tough. She can act a bit hawkish, but when she actually puts stuff into action, it ain't there. It ain't there. Heritage Action lifetime score, 5 to 10% conservative. League of Conservation voters, 94 to 97%. Typical partisan Democrat on the most big votes, despite the moderate branding. This is the show that the left watched. They knew what they were getting from Trump. They went in there with preconceived notions. Abigail Spanberger showed up last night and became a star in the Democrat Party. I'm just telling you, she is the most dangerous Democrat in America. She is. And she delivers the message in such a way that it resonates with the leftists and it doesn't scare away the middle suburban swing voters. It's crazy. I watched that speech last night and I thought to myself, Abigail Spanberger is a threat. Just telling you. And while she's governing as a far leftist, if she becomes the VP pick, there's not going to be enough runway there where we can really nail her on her record. And the taxes, I mean, we can nail her on new taxes. But I do think Glenn Youngkin left her in a pretty good situation. So it's not like the state's going to fall apart within a year and a half, 2 years before she starts campaigning. I'm telling you, she's got to be the VP. Has to be. So she goes into this speech and she immediately says the president lied. The speech was all edited too. I don't know if you noticed this. It's in a small room. It's probably with her own team, her own staff, very heavily edited. You can see the jump cuts, awkward applause, teleprompter issues. I mean, all of that aside. She comes on and she says, everything the president just said is a lie. Great. Got it. But then she jumps in and she says, I have 3 big questions for you. And she was so effective in the speech, guys. She says, I have 3 big questions for you. She asked these 3 questions, and then she systematically goes through and she answers each one. The 3 big questions were this. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe at home and abroad? And is the president working for you? Now, she made the case that the president is doing none of those things. I can make the case that she is lying through her teeth. But it's all going to be about perspective. She talks about affordability. And it really drove me up the wall. Because the way she speaks, she speaks like a calm moderate, but we know her governing style. Listen, this is Abigail Spanberger's dissent.
So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? As I campaigned for governor last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern everywhere. Costs are too high in housing, healthcare, energy, and childcare. And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country.
She is smooth. She is calm. She's authoritative. It is simplified. Never mind the fact that while she was campaigning and going to every corner of the state of Virginia, Donald Trump had, 6 months in office? 6 months? So we're still dealing with a full-blown Biden economy? But the leftists aren't going to deal in fact. They're dealing in emotion. And you see this woman come on the stage, and it just blows my mind how smoothly she can lie. She's governing more like Maura Healey in Massachusetts and Gavin Newsom in California, yet she's campaigning and basically building herself up as JFK-esque. It's just insane. Then she goes after the cost of living. And Abigail Spanberger and Virginia Democrats, they won because they told voters that they would reduce the cost of living. But they've only added new taxes. I got a lot more thoughts on this. We'll probably spend a little bit more time on this. 3 big questions from Abigail Spanberger. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe at home and abroad? And is the president working for you? We're going to break down those 3 big questions on the way with facts. And we need to all understand that Abigail Spanberger is the future of the Democrat Party, and we need to laser focus in on her. Criticize every move she makes and make every Virginia story a national story, because I do think that she is a threat come 2028. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. It's 9:23 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store. You know I love the Second Amendment. I love it, but I don't just own guns. I carry them. But neither of those is enough, and you know that, and I know that. Owning them, carrying them, it's great, but you have to train. I train at the Glock store inside the Shoot 270 indoor training rooms. A real training isn't just standing in a lane, punching paper targets over and over. You could do that 10,000 times, 15,000 times, 20,000 times, and guess what? You're not actually going to be ready. That's where the Glock store comes in. The Shoot 270 indoor ranges are next level. Real training rooms, not just lanes. You'll work with professional instructors, run drills on multiple targets, practice drawing from concealment until it becomes second nature. They even have a training session where you can work your way through a pitch black room and act like it would be you clearing the house in the middle of a night if there was a break-in. This training makes a huge difference. Owning a gun is a right. Knowing how to use it under pressure, that's the responsibility. That's where the Glock store comes in, and they make it simple. You go to shoot270.com, you book your appointment, you're ready to train. The Shoot 270 indoor range is only at the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Glockstore.com.
Coming up, a homeless man is dead after an overnight fire in South Nashville. Also, the Senate is about to grill President Trump's choice for Surgeon General. Those are your stories at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And in less than a minute, we're going to get those headlines from Joan Jones. My name is Chris Hand. We've been talking about Abigail Spanberger, as I like to call her, the most dangerous Democrat on the planet. Do you see I'm stretching it out? Soon it's going to be the universe. We're working our way there. The show goes till noon. We're going to say, so maybe I jumped the gun on planet. Maybe I should have started with hemisphere. Maybe I should have started with
Continent?
hemisphere. Yeah, then, we start with continent, then we go to hemisphere, then we'll go to planet, then it's galaxy, then it's universe. So we're currently only on continent. I'm issuing a correction here until I update it.
As for now, Abigail Spanberger.
After the news with Joan, it'll be hemisphere.
Okay, cool.
Got it? Write that down. She's very dangerous. She's also known to wear a bag over her head.
Oh,
Did you see that? I tweeted out a picture during
It's
COVID.
the craziest picture.
During COVID, she was wearing a bag over her head with like a fan and a filter. She didn't get COVID, so it must have worked.
She's still alive.
Trust the science, John.
Yeah.
Trust the science.
Yeah.
And if you look at the picture, she absolutely got what the kids refer to as a glow up before she ran for governor. Because quite a few people have pointed out the bag adds 20 years. We'll talk about the most dangerous Democrat on the continent when we return. And her three main questions that she addressed to the American public in her dissent. We'll break down each one line by line, and we'll show you why this woman is the wolf in sheep's clothing we're saying she is. On the way, 9:31, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is now 9:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got to watch it this morning in Thompson Station, 840 eastbound between Columbia Pike, exit 28 and exit 31. They're doing bridge deck repairs, and the right lane is blocked off this morning. Very slow in that area. A small plane made an emergency landing yesterday in Williamson County. Channel 4's Jordan James reports the plane came down in a wooded area of McKee-Padilla Row before noon yesterday.
It's in for neighbors after a plane was forced to make an emergency landing Tuesday morning.
I don't think I've ever seen a plane crash with my own eyes in person, so this is pretty crazy to see. It's like something out of the Hatchet.
The Williamson County Sheriff's Office says it was coming from Murfreesboro when it went down. Despite damage to the plane, the pilot was not hurt, nor were any homes damaged, which many consider to be a miracle.
Flying can be dangerous.
It sure can. The FAA is investigating. Could take 6 weeks to find out what went wrong. A man is dead after his tent erupted in flames overnight in Nashville. News 2's Megan Fee says this happened at a homeless encampment in South Nashville.
Metro police tell us other people living in that homeless encampment called police when they woke up to find that person's tent on fire. Police say the Nashville Fire Department put out that fire and they found that man dead inside the tent.
Police and fire investigators have not determined yet if this was an accidental fire or if it was intentionally set. President Trump's pick for Surgeon General is set to appear before the Senate today for her confirmation hearing. Dr. Casey Means would become the nation's top doctor, leading more than 6,000 members of the U.S. Public Health Service. Her views match those of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with a focus on tackling the chronic disease epidemic, creating a healthier food supply, and she's not a supporter of over-the-top vaccine schedules for kids. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. When winter storms hit Nashville, they don't mess around. We saw that a couple weeks back. Power outages, frozen lines, burst pipes. And what starts as a small issue turns into a major home disaster before you know it. And now this is why today is the perfect day to call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. you can get some great savings on products that will protect your home, like 40% off a whole home surge protector with any electrical repair. You can protect your home from sudden outages and damaging voltage spikes before the next storm rolls in. And if freezing temps have already done a number on your plumbing, Busy Bee's offering $500 off select whole home water repipes. Fix it right the right way today before a small leak becomes an expensive flood. If you're dealing with a stubborn clog, they still have the 93 or free main line special happening today. Either they clear it or you don't pay for it. It's that simple. This winter, stay safe, stay warm, stay ahead of the damage. Visit busybhvac.com or call them today, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybhvac.com.
So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you?
That was Abigail Spanberger last night. She was the Democrat official to give the dissent post-State of the Union. And I'm here to tell you, Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in the hemisphere. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us as well, YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate you doing so and helping us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Abigail Spanberger, she said the president lied all speech. That's weird because it sounded like your speech was pre-recorded. And I noticed the edits. I noticed the jump cuts. I noticed the awkward applause, probably by your staffers. So did you listen to the president's speech? What time did you record your speech? See, this is the thing. It's so easy. Like, this is what we were talking about yesterday with the poly market betting. If you know, you know. And you can pretty much predict what the president was going to say, what he was going to talk about, and then refer to it in your dissent. And it looked like that took her a lot longer to record than it did to run. Just my own. I don't have any evidence to back that up. That's just an opinion. It looked like she pre-recorded and edited the hell out of that speech. That being said, just because I noticed it doesn't mean the American public noticed it. And I'll tell you what, just because I noticed her lies doesn't mean the American public noticed her lies, and she lied so good. She did such a good job. And that's why I think she's one of the most dangerous Democrats in the hemisphere. She asked 3 big questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? Super simple. And she ran through each of those questions and gave examples as to why he was not. Now, when she's talking about the affordability, she says, when I went to every corner of the state of Virginia while I was campaigning for governor, everyone told me things are so expensive. Mind you, while she's campaigning and going to every corner of the state of Virginia, we're only about 6 months in to the Trump administration at the time, so we're still dealing with a very Biden-esque economy. But I digress. If Abigail Spanberger is so worried about affordability, why is it that Abigail Spanberger, the CIA asset, Abigail Spanberger, the Democrat front runner for VP in 2028, why is it that she has instituted so many new taxes after campaigning as a moderate and then governing as a socialist in the state of Virginia? Have you heard the taxes? 51 new taxes have been put on the table in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia.
To you, they include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment, large employer tax, gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you ordered things on Amazon, Uber Eats, UPS, FedEx, etc. Investment income tax, event tax, concert tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax, dog walking tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax, got to catch my breath, digital personal property tax, new car taxes and highway use fees, increase in the hotel tax here in Arlington, statewide speed cameras. Now, those aren't taxes, but drivers would pay more fines if that went through. A dry cleaning tax, concert tax, home repair tax, and a vehicle repair tax. Now,
is the president making life more affordable for you, says Abigail Spanberger, lying through her teeth as she makes life more unaffordable in the Commonwealth of Virginia? Oh, gee whiz, everybody's telling me about affordability. We got to raise taxes. Okay. That's question 1. Question 2. Is the president working to keep Americans safe at home and abroad? Now, the easy answer, the quick answer is, yeah, duh. Deportations, a secure southern border, strength presented on the world stage. You saw what happened to Iran back in May of 2025. We saw what happened with Maduro. I mean, yes, easily yes. The answer to that is yes. Duh. But the better take is flipping it back on her. Are you making Virginia safe for more Virginians? And I'll tell you this. I take this very personally. I lived in the Commonwealth of Virginia for quite a few years. Found my beautiful wife in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She grew up there. I have a niece. I have a nephew in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I have a brother-in-law, sister-in-law I love very much. I have my in-laws live in the state of Virginia. So when she says, are you safer? Is Donald Trump working to keep you safe at home and abroad? I would just flip it on you. I feel like my niece and nephew are less safe in the state of Virginia because of Abigail Spanberger. And I'll tell you why. Within weeks after becoming governor, she terminated Virginia's agreement with ICE, halting state law enforcement cooperation with federal immigration enforcement, giving criminal illegal aliens, killers, rapists, and gangbangers a pass. And everybody knows it. What are you doing? Look inward, ma'am. Look inward. You are ruining the Commonwealth of Virginia. During her time in Congress also, just to go, let's jump in the way back machine. During her time in Congress, she repeatedly undermined border security by voting against the Secure Border Act, supporting Pathway to Citizenship for more than 2 million illegal aliens, co-sponsoring amnesty bills for millions of illegals, and twice voting to terminate President Trump's national emergency declaration at the southern border. What have you done to make Americans more safe? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. She's a liar. This is the same woman in August of 2025 who said, I have no plans to redistrict Virginia. I have no plans. And now they're trying to put through a gerrymandered map that eliminates all conservative voices in the state. So this woman is a liar and a fraud. 100%. And everybody knows it. Is the president working for you? I tend to think he is, actually. I tend to think he is. And I think that was on full display last night. The president has a heart, and he has a heart for the American people. Yes, I do believe that the president is working for me. But I say all that to say this. We can and we need to pick her apart and scrutinize every move and make her known on a national stage, or she's going to bite us in the ass down the road. She's so smooth, so calm, so safe. She appears so safe to those middle-of-the-road Democrats that don't want the far left stuff. She's going to give them the far left stuff. Don't make any mistake about it, but she doesn't present that way. This is the key point. She is not AOC. Abigail Spanberger is not Jasmine Crockett. Spanberger is not Ilhan Omar. I don't think Spanberger is going to be in there screaming at the top of her lungs like Ilhan Omar was last night during the State of the Union. She's not going to get kicked out like Al Green did. She's too smooth for that. She's far more electable because she doesn't scare suburban voters. She doesn't scare moderates, and she doesn't scare national security-minded independents. She flipped and held a district that had been reliably Republican since the 70s in the state of Virginia. She won the governorship by double digits in a state that's purple to blue. Purplish. But there's still huge conservative areas. And Glenn Youngkin did a good job. Democrats see her as proof that they can win without going all the way to the left. And they're going to continue to see her that way. The CIA resume, the suburban mom of three, the bipartisan rhetoric, she can disarm so many GOP attacks. This is why we need to stay laser focused on this woman. She is the most dangerous Democrat on the planet. She sounds reasonable on TV. She sounded reasonable last night. Once in power, as we're seeing in the state of Virginia, her policies move way more to the left. Abortion, climate schemes, higher minimum wage, that's coming to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Softer immigration enforcement, we're already seeing that in practice. Then she has the national security credentials. I mentioned the CIA resume. You know, when everybody's talking about China and Russia, and you see AOC fumble the China-Taiwan question on the biggest stage there in Munich, Abigail Spanberger is not going to make the same mistake. She's too smart for it. She just is. Everybody knows it. And then the demographics and the timing. She's young. She is 46 years old. She's female. She's the first woman governor of Virginia. She's articulate. She's disciplined. She checks a lot of boxes. She's already being floated in a few articles as the 2025, 2026 top tier 2028 prospect alongside Mikey Sherrill, another one of those moderates that governs as a far left socialist up there in New Jersey. She's easily on the VP ticket. Easily. I think that they would be dumb not to make her VP. And I think you could make the argument, or you could see a scenario with the wide open playing field of the Democrats where Abigail Spanberger becomes the number one Democrat in America. You think Obama's going to have a hard time endorsing Abigail Spanberger? Absolutely not. Absolutely. They'd all get behind her. She's not crazy. At least she doesn't present as crazy. This is why she's so dangerous. She's got that proven ability to win where it matters. I mentioned the double-digit win in the state of Virginia. I mentioned how she flipped the congressional districts that were reliably conservative for years and years and years, decades. Spanberger is the prototype for the new Democrats. And in the post-2024 election world, Spanberger is going to be a threat. She just is. And everybody needs to pay attention. She's polished. She's credentialed. She's disciplined. She sounds like a moderate. She delivers the standard progressive governance once elected. She doesn't energize the hard left like AOC or Ilhan Omar or other squad members, but I would argue that's a strength for Abigail Spanberger because we know that those far leftists are going to vote blue no matter who at the end of the day. She's not going to scare away the suburbs. She's not going to scare away the moms. She's not going to scare away the moderates. And the left was gushing over her. I mean, after her dissent, like I had mentioned that I was watching ABC for the post-election coverage because I kind of wanted to see where the left was coming from. And they were very complimentary of the president, which shocked me. But they gushed over Abigail Spanberger. They absolutely gushed over her. Then you flip over to another channel, CBS, Margaret Brennan. She's trying to make the case now that Abigail Spanberger is governing as a moderate.
Delivering the Democratic response to President Trump's address is Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, 46 years old, elected this past November, becoming the Commonwealth's first female governor. Spanberger served 3 terms in the House of Representatives and is a former CIA officer. With me at the table here is Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, what do we expect?
Well, Abigail Spanberger, as a congresswoman and now as governor, has been very much a moderate.
That's a huge lie, but that's going to be the story that they build around Abigail Spanberger. She's a moderate. She's such a moderate. Middle of the road. Don't fall for the lies and stay very close. Pay very close attention to Abigail Spanberger in Virginia because that, my friends, is the future of the Democrat Party. On the way, we'll break down some of the biggest highlights from the president's speech last night at the State of the Union. I want to know what grade you give the speech. We haven't talked much about the speech. We spent an hour on Spanberger. I think that as far as conservatives go, we can gush over the speech, but I think it's far more important that we pay attention to what the left is doing right now. So if you didn't watch Abigail Spanberger's speech, I suggest that you do, and get yourself ready to combat those talking points. But we will dive into the speech on the way. What grade did you give the speech? What were your favorite moments? Let's turn the monologue into a dialogue, to quote my friend Matt Murphy, who he was looking dapper last night. You see him? Yeah, he's looking dapper.
Was that a fresh cut last night?
Everybody's looking dapper. I think he did have a fresh cut.
Yeah. Good.
I still prefer mullet Murphy.
I do too.
Everybody does. Everybody does. In fact, I thought he would have been ranked higher for afternoon shows in the nation had he kept the mullet. It's a hot take. It's a hot take. We'll talk about the speech on the way. We'll get your reaction as well. 615-737-9986. It's 9:52. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. If you think that you need to wait until the fall for open enrollment to get yourself some good health insurance, that's a myth. That's actually what the big insurance companies want you to think. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today, right now. No waiting, no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, talk to Shane. You're just sick of overpriced junk insurance? Well, you're in the right place. You see, Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies. And we're talking brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses. Shane has a plan for you. You just got to pick up the phone and talk to him. Stop overpaying. Stop waiting. Stop thinking you're stuck. You can go to covernash.com or you can call Shane directly. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Get some health insurance on your terms, not the government's. Covernash.com.
Up ahead, plans to bring speed cameras to Nashville. And also, what happened that caused American Airlines to remove one of their planes from service? That and more coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand. We got headlines in less than 2 minutes right here for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Chris Hand Show, as always, brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Going through the text line, 615-737-9986. Many people are talking about the most dangerous Democrat in the solar system, Abigail Spanberger. And a lot of people are saying the exact same thing. The thing that makes her so dangerous is that she is calculated and she is strategic. She checks all the boxes. So we'll talk more about Abigail Spanberger, the most dangerous Democrat in the universe, on the way. Milky Way galaxy universe. I've heard she even scares the Ananukis a little bit. Is it Ananuki or Ananukai?
I think it's Guy.
The Greys. Spooked. Downright spooked. 615-737-9986. On the way, we're going to dive into the State of the Union speech from Donald Trump. I thought it was a great speech. My friend U-Haul Brian is on the road. Real quick, Brian, what grade would you give Donald Trump's speech last night?
A++, bro.
A++.
100%. He looks people in the eye and tells them what he thinks. Obviously, I don't know how much the Congress is made up of stupid Democrats, but they're all stupid. But he looks them right in the eye and said, "You're a sick, crazy people," and that's exactly what they are. And I know that it hit a nerve because you saw the reaction. I mean, those people were so inflamed, maybe would be a good word, about him calling them out for not standing. And I just love the way he acts on the world stage. The new affordability. I just saw $2.28 gas coming back from Cookville for unleaded, regular unleaded. And is he doing a good job on the world stage? Of course he is. 8 wars.
Yep.
He's not playing with Iran. I think I saw a quote from ex-governor, Arkansas Governor Huckabee, say he's not bluffing. So not that I know what he knows. He knows what anybody else knows, but I believe that. So
yeah, I hear you.
Grade.
A++ from Brian. I would say I would give it a B+. And I'll tell you what, Brian, the one part that I wasn't like, man, he nailed it, was the Iran part. I'll tell you why on the other side. I didn't think it was bad. Maybe I shouldn't say it was bad, but it didn't pull me the way I thought they were going for. And we'll talk about that on the other side. 10:01 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. NDOT is considering a plan that would add speed cameras to school zones in Nashville. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry says one plan would have the cameras being used during drop-offs and pickups near schools.
NDOT says if Metro Council approved, Nashville's pilot program would start with 15 speed cameras in high-injury school zones, citing New York City as an example of the camera's effectiveness.
A before and after analysis between 2014 to 2020 found that speeding at fixed zone camera locations dropped 72%.
The cameras would be in addition to the posted speed limit signs for these school zones and would only be active during arrival and dismissal to deter speeding.
Metro Council would need to approve those cameras. In California, the trial continues for the woman who's suing Facebook and Instagram over negative mental health effects of social media.
Haley, as she's been referred to in court, alleges beauty filters were one of the features built into platforms like Instagram that contributed to her mental health conditions, such as body dysmorphia. When asked about the filters last week, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified that removing them from his platforms would be paternalistic and would upset the balance between user protections and free expression.
ABC's Mike Dubosky. Instagram head Adam Mosseri previously testified that company is taking steps to mitigate their role in the teen mental health crisis by rolling out things like more limited accounts for teens. President Trump doubling down on tariffs and immigration last night in his State of the Union speech, and he invited some notable people, too.
Last week, the Supreme Court upended a key part of Trump's economic agenda when it ruled most of his tariffs unconstitutional. Some Supreme Court justices sat just feet away from the president.
An unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court.
Among the invited guests in attendance, Erica Kirk and the Olympic-winning U.S. men's hockey team. And a 100-year-old Navy veteran who received the Congressional Medal of Honor.
That's ABC's Christiane Cordero. An American Airlines plane showed up in Miami on Sunday with bullet holes in the body. That plane had just arrived from Colombia. No injuries reported. American Airlines says that the aircraft was removed from service for further inspection and repair, and an investigation is underway. Investigators say so far that they're focusing on a criminal group behind the incident. Nothing, however, is conclusive. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I think we fully explained why Democrat Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in the universe, scaring even the Enanuki. They're terrified. Maybe that's why we need to elect her. Just keep away them aliens. Everybody's saying they're real now.
Just saying, if she keeps going, we might hit multiverse level.
We might. There's also a large portion of the internet that thinks she's one of them skinwalkers herself.
Ooh.
I don't have the investigative ability to confirm or deny that. So,
I'll get with a team who's working on Bigfoot right now, see if we can get something figured out.
that'd be dope. Mason's always working behind the scenes for this show.
Dude, I gotta.
God bless him. We have serious questions that we need to ask.
Yeah, Maxine Waters avoiding me like I'm a fish person.
Yeah.
And about to find out if Spanberger's a skinwalker.
Is she a lizard under there?
I don't know.
Were you born near the Earth's core? These are the questions that we're asking. Hard-hitting questions on the Chris Hand Show.
I know you're not used to the gravity out here on the surface. Affecting your brain a little bit.
Do you slouch because of the gravity? People are asking questions. All right, so the speech last night from the president was awesome. Before things even got kicked off, Al Green got kicked out, which, great. Love it. He held a sign that said, "Black people aren't apes." Very well. Very good. Very good.
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
You know, for the party that really promotes evolution and doesn't think that God created us, that we evolved from the monkey, they get very bent out of shape when humans are compared to monkeys. Very bent out of shape. Joe Biden was also compared to a monkey in that video. Just to let the record show.
True.
I think Chuck Schumer was the meerkat. AOC was a hyena.
That makes sense.
It all tracked. If you watch the whole video, it was very funny. It wasn't racist. It was Lion King themed. And to be fair, if I recall correctly, Obama was positioned as the Rafiki of the crew. You know what I mean? There's worse monkeys to be positioned as.
I mean, Rafiki's kind of one of the coolest characters in the movie.
In Lion King lore, I'd prefer to be Rafiki than Scar.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody knows it.
For sure.
Side note, and we'll get back to politics. So, do you know there's a Lion King 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, buddy.
So,
there's a 2, there's a 1.5,
Yep.
and there's a TV show.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And then there's a spin-off TV show, The Lion Guard.
Yeah. What is this?
Okay, but this is the things that I do in my own free time because I find it so funny. So when my kids were my oldest was a little bit younger, she loved The Lion King, right? Kennedy, she's 12 now. I think she still loves The Lion King. She just won't admit it publicly.
Nah, great movie.
But you know, I'm 12. I'm very cool. Not watching.
I'm the coolest, yeah.
But when she was like 3, I found the it was like straight to VHS back in the day, right? Lion King 2. And I started calling it Son of Scar. I didn't call it Lion King 2. I called it Son of Scar.
Yeah.
And that name has stuck to this day. All the kids refer to Lion King 2 as Son of Scar.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Son of Scar.
Son of Scar.
Wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But
there's a reason it went straight to VHS.
Do you remember that? How awesome was that? There was Aladdin, Prince of Thieves. That went straight to VHS too. There were some good ones.
Yeah, Disney had a lot of sleeper hits.
They did.
One of my favorites, it's not a sequel, but one of my favorite like sleepers that I will actually praise Disney a little bit for is the Treasure Planet movie. It's got pirates. It's in space. I can't go wrong with that. That's right up my alley.
Were the pirates in space nervous about Abigail Spanberger?
Just a little bit. Just there's a reason they dodged a certain galaxy for a reason.
We have devolved into chaos. All right, so back to the speech. State of the Union. Donald Trump, he had some great moments. Some of my favorites was when he called out the Supreme Court to their faces on the tariffs.
Already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful, country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved.
I love it. I love that Fox kept going to the faces of the Supreme Court justices who ruled against Trump when it came to the tariffs. And I don't know, they looked rather glum. Was it just me? They were looking rather glum. It was like, I love the Supreme Court. Not you, Amy. Not you. Sit down. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And he's going to tariff max. We talked about that on the show a couple days ago. We're tariff maxing now. We're going to tariff even harder. So get ready, folks. The tariffs aren't going away. They're just changing a little bit. He continued to call out individuals who have obstructed and gotten in his way. He exposed the Democrats to their faces. And if we could share the video on the stream, I would love to share it with you, but we're still waiting to upgrade this computer. But Timu Obama was not exactly pleased when Donald Trump called the Democrats dirty, rotten liars to their face, when he called them out for voting for the disastrous policies that ruined the economy under Joe Biden, and now they scream about affordability. Donald Trump made the case that he needed to make. The affordability issue is real. And do you know who caused it? The left.
Same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
While he says that, the camera goes to Timu Obama's face, Hakeem Jeffries, and he just looks pissed. And he should be. Joe Biden's administration crushed the Democrat Party.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
I mean, there's two things happening here with the president. He's acknowledging that affordability is an issue. He's laying out the case that the Democrats caused it. He's calling them out to their face. Like, where was this energy under Joe Biden when inflation was at, 9.7%? There was no energy there. They didn't even want to bring it up. They told us that the inflation was transitory. They told us it wasn't even happening. And then Janet Yellen went and did mushrooms in China. Great job. Nailed it. It's like, what are we doing? The last administration drove the country into the ground. The Trump administration has been doing everything they can to claw us out of that hole. And I made this point last night during the live stream before the State of the Union. If Joe Biden's administration destroys $4,000 worth of your purchasing power over 4 years, and Donald Trump restores $1,500 of that purchasing power in 1 year, well, then Donald Trump is doing good work. And if we let the man cook, guys, we're in the green. We're back in the black by the end of this term. We have to be patient. And I know that sucks. And I know it sucks if you're dealing with financial struggles at the moment. And I know it sucks if you signed a lease 4 months ago and the president's going out there and saying rent prices are falling. And you go, well, it doesn't affect me. I'm locked into this lease. Like, I get it. But we're seeing gas prices come down. We're seeing some interest rates fall. We're seeing rent prices fall. We're seeing some grocery prices fall. But we're also seeing jobs created, manufacturing reshored. The president absolutely has a focus on affordability, and that was the case that he was making last night. And he made the case not just on affordability, but on healthcare as well. The Democrats really used healthcare as a bludgeon during the last shutdown. And the Democrats were the one that baked into the cake that those subsidies would be expiring. And Donald Trump relayed that message to the American people last night.
Tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was
He's right. And he points at the Democrats, caused by you. Caused by you and you and you and you. Caused by you all. And he's right. The cost of health insurance is insane in this country. Prices have been plummeting down. We're seeing the fruit of that in the Trump RX. We're seeing it. It's going to take time. We haven't reached the promised land yet, but the president is working on it. And he continued to push the healthcare stuff. He said, guys, you talked and talked and talked, but you had no action. And this kind of reminds me of when he was at the debate with Hillary. And she's like, Donald Trump doesn't pay his taxes. Donald Trump, he uses every loophole in the book. And he's like, yeah, and you've been in the government for decades, and he didn't change it. Want to know why? Because your friends took advantage of the same loopholes. There's a key difference there. You guys talk, and you talk a good game, but there's no there.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
I mean, the president did a really good job with looking back, but not looking back too far. And that was key. And that was a point that I made before the speech while we were all doing our thing at Legend Steakhouse with Mandis and Murphy and Benson. I said, there is something to be said about looking back and making the case that the issues of today are a direct result of the Biden administration. But we couldn't look too far back. And I think Donald Trump balanced that line perfectly. He walked that tightrope, if you will. We didn't go back to the 2020 election, but we did talk about the Biden administration and why we are where we are today. And then he made the case on how he's making it better. I thought it was a great speech from Donald Trump last night. There's a lot more to get to. Longest speech in State of the Union history. Another record for the president. People said it was going to be long. That was another one of those poly market bets where you could have won some money. I think it ended up at 148, which is 108 minutes. The bet was if you bet $100, you won like $30, $40. But everybody knew it was going over that 100-minute mark. So had you bet 1,000, you would have won 300. There was free money to be had last night. It's a shame I'm not a gambling man. Maybe I'll become one. Nah, I probably won't.
Next time.
The next time will be the time that I would, if I ever did do it,
yeah,
I would lose horribly. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do it. But all throughout the speech last night, I was like, man, I should have placed that bet. Man, I should have placed that. I had it's not FOMO, fear of missing out. It was just Mo. It was just missing out. Stunk.
You already knew. There was no fear. It was
there was
confirmed.
no fear. It was just all Mo.
All Mo.
All Mo. No brakes, all gas. Donald Trump kept going last night. He did get some interruptions. There was some yelling. Ilhan Omar, the one with the little shing. You remember that? She started yelling. She was screaming. She's at a certain point with Ilhan Omar's yelling. Do you think like the Muslim male population of Somalia goes, she's a bit screechy for us.
Maybe we don't like her.
Hey, maybe we could get somebody else in there. It wouldn't shock me. We'll talk about all that and more on the way. Plus, take some of your phone calls, 615-737-9986. It's 1022, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. Did you have a big State of the Union party last night? We did. We made a mess. Luckily, there were no carpets at Legends Steakhouse. I think they'll clean it themselves. If you got a big State of the Union party, people are spilling salsa on the floor. Queso. You guys got wild. You might need to clean it up. You should call my friends at Zero Res, the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means the carpets and upholstery aren't just going to look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer. The kids can sprawl out on the floor. The dogs can roll around. You don't have to worry about what's in the fibers. There's no chemicals, none of that stuff. It's just good to go. And it's not just carpets. They do everything. Air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. This is perfect. If you got a lot of kids running around like I do, if you got a lot of pets, this is going to work for you as well. The Facebook recommendations through the roof. The Google reviews, 5 stars. Call Zero Res today. You won't be disappointed, and you're not going to overpay. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. And you can always book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
A homeless man is killed in an overnight fire, and what J.D. Vance plans to do as the new fraud czar. That and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I thought you said frog czar for a second.
No, I believe it was fraud czar.
Okay. I was like, are we going to get those chemicals out of the water?
I would hope so.
We all hope so. Everyone does.
What do they say about the chemicals?
You know what they say about the chemicals.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
We should have a frog czar.
Save them.
615-737-9986. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way. Less than 2 minutes. Mason Fleming producing. I'll be honest with you, Mason. About what was it, 15 minutes ago? You shouted out Treasure Planet.
A legendary movie, yeah.
And I rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
I did. And
You
I
regretting
think
that?
I feel like I owe you an apology.
Okay, hold on. I'm shutting down the music. Hold on. I need this full voice. Say it with your chest, please.
I would like to personally apologize to Mason Fleming for rolling my eyes at the movie suggestion of Treasure Planet.
Let's go.
Couple texters I like. They're rocking with Treasure Planet.
It's a fun one.
3630 said Treasure Planet goes hard. Luciano texted in. He said 10-4 Mason, Treasure Planet.
Succinct. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I got another text here from 7502. This gentleman texted in. He said, it's amazing how you all try to make that okay. Talking about the Lion King video with Obama.
Mm.
Just like you tried to make the Tourette's guy saying the N-word okay. And Chris, you always talk about you was on hip-hop radio, and do you think that's okay because he was compared to Rafiki, the best monkey. What the hell is that? Come on, man. Okay, just for starters, I don't even think I covered the Tourette's guy on my show.
No.
Like he yelled the N-word at BAFTA, the British Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And he had Tourette's. So it's kind of funny. It was awkward.
Yeah, I was like, to be fair, not everybody who has tics shout words, but it is very common.
And he shouted the N-word.
Yeah.
It's unforced comedy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Nobody did that out of malice.
No.
Okay. But I never even talked about it, to be perfectly honest with you. I was like, I think I had it for the lightning round one day, and then I was like, whatever, moving on.
Yeah, we had better stories.
We ran out of time. And then he said, I said the Lion King video, that was 1.5 seconds, and it auto-played. Like, I don't even think it was 1.5 seconds.
Nah.
It auto-played. So you have a staffer screen recording a video. This all came because Al Green got kicked out of the State of the Union because he had a sign that said, black people aren't apes. It's like, duh. Yes, we understand.
Obviously.
So you have some staffer recording a screen grab video. I don't even remember what the original one was. I think it was on election fraud in Georgia, if I recall correctly. And you literally watch the video scroll up and autoplay the next thing like it does on so many social media platforms as soon as your video is done because they want to keep retention there. And it wasn't edited out. And it got posted. And it's not a good look. Like, all that being said, if you watch the entire video, Obama wasn't the only one that was compared to a monkey. Biden was compared, was dressed up as a monkey. AOC was dressed up as a hyena. It was a Lion King movie. Like, I'm sorry that you are putting race on this and making it evil and racist, and I didn't see it that way. People will look at that and be like, see, this is proof that the Trump administration is full of evil racists. And I'm like, okay, I don't view that the same way. I think it's a non-controversy. And I don't care about it. And yes, I made the joke. Rafiki's the best monkey.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that Democrats aren't looking at the whole picture. Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
We'll bring you more highlights from the speech on the way. 1032 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A man is dead after his tent erupted in flames overnight in Nashville. News 2's Megan Fee says this happened at a homeless encampment in South Nashville.
Metro police tell us other people living in that homeless encampment called police when they woke up to find that person's tent on fire. Police say the Nashville Fire Department put out that fire and they found that man dead inside the tent.
Now, police and fire investigators have not determined yet if this was an accidental fire or if it was intentionally set. There's new information about a crash on I-40 in Dixon County yesterday morning that closed a stretch of that highway for a period of time. Police are saying that crash was caused by a wrong-way driver. A Toyota Sienna was seen driving eastbound in the westbound lanes of the interstate when it collided head-on with a Coca-Cola tractor-trailer. The driver of the Toyota, 36-year-old Sebastian Mateo, died in the crash. His 17-year-old passenger was injured. At one point in his speech last night, President Donald Trump named Vice President J.D. Vance as the nation's fraud czar. Vance, speaking about it with Fox News, news moments ago.
How many illegal aliens are on Medicaid? We know that it's billions and billions of dollars that should go to American citizens. It's going to illegal aliens. How many fraudulent daycare centers have been set up where that money should go to American citizens to help their kids get into childcare? Instead, it's being stolen from them by illegal aliens in our country. How much have government officials actually been complicit in this fraud because some of them have gotten wealthy, or at the least, they've gotten campaign donations from the people who have gotten rich from that fraud?
In Minnesota, more than 70 people were indicted for allegedly defrauding a pandemic-era child nutrition nonprofit called Feeding Our Future by billing for services that were never actually provided. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I love these guys. Dr. Mitch, Dr. Ashley, they are the absolute best. And if you are dealing with pain, any kind of pain, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging discs, spinal stenosis, or even numbness in your arms, legs, fingers, toes, you don't have to live that way. You could actually get back to a pain-free life relatively quickly with my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They're the first and only office into the state of Tennessee with a brand new device called the HydroWave. This is stimulating your own stem cells for healing at a cellular level. You pair that with non-surgical spinal and knee decompression. You pair that with robotic lasers, anti-gravity machines, cryotherapy. This is as advanced as it gets. And one of the best parts is they're not going to be talking to you about surgery. They're not going to be talking to you about painful injections, and they're not going to be prescribing you opioids. This is why Dr. Mitchell needs to be your doctor. Bring your MRI. They'll take x-rays if needed. He'll walk you through exactly what's happening and give you a real treatment plan to fix the problem. A pain-free life is within reach, but it starts with a phone call to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Or find them online, painisbad.com. 10:39, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing. He does an okay job from time to time.
Say what you want. Lightning's been pretty good this week. I'm just saying.
It has. And the DJ Khaled that you've worked into the rotation.
Another one.
Chef's
Another
kiss.
one.
Chef's kiss. We'll be hearing a lot
I'm proud
about
of it.
Well, yeah. I will say this. I think we needed on a rotator, and I think we need more variety.
Of him saying it?
Yeah. Dude, all right. So I was on Instagram this morning on my way in. This is how you know my algorithm is just completely chewed up. Okay? My algorithm is a dangerous place to be.
Mine is becoming a mess as well because of you.
So my algorithm today suggested me, it's this DJ, right? And he's like, he's DJing worship music.
Oh, no.
And then he slammed it into a DJ Khaled beat. Dude, it was sick. Like, I was like, man, I would listen to a whole playlist of this. Like, I need a Michael Watts level DJ. I need a DJ Screw to get in here. Jam Master J for you old heads. I need one of these guys to get in here and remix all the worship music.
Yeah, there are a couple of accounts I follow on like TikTok and Instagram of people doing that, where it'll be like this metal song with these Christian lyrics over it and stuff like that, or it's been a lot of rock stuff that I get. But like, I would love to see some like good R&B or like some hip hop with like Graves in the Gardens over it or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm here for it,
dude. It was gas.
I'm just saying. I think we'd get some more people in church.
I think we would too. I think this is one of the reasons why I really like Christian hip hop. I think you got to meet culture where it's at, and that's where it's at right now. I think that it would move the needle. But anyway, I digress. We've been talking about the State of the Union speech by Donald Trump. We made a great case in the first hour why Abigail Spanberger is the most dangerous Democrat in the entire galaxy. And we want you to go back and listen to that. We'll podcast that as well. I think it's already been podcasted, but share it with your friends, especially if they live in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Keep an eye on Abigail. Oh my gosh, is that an evil woman? I don't want to go too far back. It's there if you want to listen to it again. And I suggest that you do, because I think I did a good job making some good points.
Some good points.
Just letting you know. Donald Trump last night, I thought he was on fire. I love the way he called out the Democrats when it came to the affordability crisis. But I think I loved even more when he called out John Thune to his face on a few things. He called out John Thune and Speaker Johnson, said they got to codify the massive prescription drug price cuts so it can't be undone by a Democrat. But he also brought up the SAVE Act. And when he brought up the SAVE Act, I thought this is exactly what we need. We need John Thune called out on a big stage, because John Thune doesn't seem that he wants to do anything. John Thune doesn't think that they have the time. John Thune is going to drag his feet until we're way into midterm season, and it's going to be like, guys, we got to focus on other things. It's midterms. And I think it's short-sighted, and I think it's a huge failure. And President Trump demanded that the Senate GOP and John Thune pass the Save America Act, and he called them out on this to their faces.
Save America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
That shouldn't be a big ask. Timu Obama was not happy.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
Again, shouldn't be a big ask. And while he's bringing this up, he's like, you got to get it done, John. You got to get it done. And he also called out New York City Mayor Mamdani because, as we've covered, and it's hilarious, you need 2 forms of ID to be part of the emergency snow shovel brigade in New York City, plus your Social Security card. I've seen viral videos. I don't know if you've seen this. There's no supervision on the emergency snow shovel brigade. Did you know that? So you got guys signing up. They get their emergency snow shovel, and then they go put it back in their apartment, and then they tell everybody that they shoveled for 11 hours.
Nice.
Sufficient. It's the honor system, much like registering to vote in the state of California. But Trump called out Mamdani.
Nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated.
76% of Democrats, I believe, last time I checked. It's 85% of Americans. I think it was 72% of Democrats, 76% of black voters, 95% of Republicans, 85% of Americans overall support this. Why are you dragging your feet, John Thune? Are you comped? I mean, these are questions that I'm not even joking. Like, that's a real question. Are you comped? John Thune has been the trash majority leader that we thought he was going to be. Insane. Absolutely insane. Some of the things that got the biggest eyeballs drawn to them last night, especially in the world of clips on social media, was the fiery exchange between Donald Trump and Ilhan Omar. Maybe you've heard of her. Ilhan Omar was screaming, absolutely screaming at the president. And it started when he brought up the war on fraud with J.D. Vance. And the cameras kept going to Ilhan Omar, and she wasn't very happy. He said J.D. Vance is leading the war on fraud.
Kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance. He'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm.
The camera goes to Ilhan Omar, and she is sitting there, and it's like somebody put a turd in the punch bowl. She is puckered up. She's not happy. She's shaking her head. She's just shaking her head. And it was glorious. The whole thing was just glorious. And President Trump kept going. He eviscerates Somalia, and he makes the case when you bring in the third world, you get third world problems.
Brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah
says we're going to take care of this problem. We're not playing games. Donald Trump calling out the Democrats to their face. And then what I think is the moment of the night. This is the bait, man. And it's like, Democrats, why did you take the bait? There was a lot of moments for bait. And to be fair, the Democrats didn't bite on every hook that got dropped in the water. Okay? But this was the big one. This one is going to be replayed in every commercial leading up to the midterms ad nauseum. You're going to see this over and over and over again. Donald Trump said, stand if you agree. The first duty of the American government is to protect the American citizens, not illegal aliens. And what happened? The Democrats kept their asses in their seats.
Tonight, I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Amen. I think he got about 2 minutes of a standing ovation after he delivered that line. And the Democrats had every opportunity to stand and clap, and they should have. They should have. That is your first duty. But they couldn't. They wouldn't. And it's a terrible look for them. Why did they take the bait? I mean, what an unforced error by the Democrats, staying seated. President Trump kept going on. After calling out Somalis and illegal aliens, you see Ilhan Omar start shouting and screaming and losing her cool, and she just keeps yelling. And Trump says, you should be ashamed of yourself, and he nailed it. Oh, hang on one second. There it is.
That protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's Ilhan Omar. She's sitting next to Rashida Tlaib. She is fuming. I mean, her complexion just turns bright red. Like, she is so angry. So angry. And what is she yelling at the president? As she sits next to Rashida Tlaib, she starts screaming, "You have killed Americans. You have killed Americans." Where was that energy when Joe Biden left the southern border wide open? Where was that energy for Laken Riley and Rachel Marin, Jocelyn Nungaray, or the thousands of other Americans who lost their lives to illegal aliens? She screams, "Liar! That's a lie! You're a liar!" when Trump was talking about the fraud. But no, it's not a lie. Did you watch Nick Shirley's reporting from the Quality Leering Center? Or is he an alt-right YouTuber? So there's no evidence here. Insanity. It made Ilhan Omar look terrible. After the State of the Union, Mike Johnson was asked about it. He's like, I thought about kicking her out. But it's actually a better look to leave her there screaming. And it's the truth. And it did make me wonder, and maybe I'm on an island here, how long are the Somali men inside Ilhan Omar's district going to deal with this woman? At a certain point, are they going to be tired of the antics and the theatrics? Ilhan Omar draws a lot more eyeballs to the fraud in Minnesota than she diverts away. Do they want somebody a little bit quieter? Is that going to happen? I mean, you know how Muslims are with their women. I don't like them speaking out of turn. Screaming at the president, not a good look. Not a good look. I wonder how long Ilhan Omar has in her district before somebody tries to primary her, because she's a bit over the top. Mike in Nashville has a comment on Ilhan Omar. He's been holding for a minute. Mike, I do appreciate you, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ilhan Omar, she embarrassed herself once again. You know, Chris, this situation, you remember a couple of weeks ago when the man tried to attack Ilhan when she was having a speech, and she was saying how out of line people was, and now a couple of weeks later, she basically does the same thing to Donald Trump. So this woman is definitely nothing but a hypocrite, and she's an embarrassment to the state of Minnesota. And she doesn't love America, Chris. She's supposed to represent the United States, and you can clearly see that she has failed to assimilate. You know, she can wear the head wrap that she has on. I have no problem with that. But the hatefulness that this woman has for America is really sad. And I want to ask you this, Chris, so maybe you can answer it because I think I already know what the answer is, and maybe your listeners can answer it. How did Ilhan Omar have a net worth of $30 million on a congressman's salary? Maybe you can answer that question. I thank you for taking my call.
Well, Mike, I appreciate the question. And I would just say this. You too can become a millionaire with a $30 million net worth. But the trick is you got to find a good credit union and some good returns on that savings account. I think that's the way she did it. Couldn't have been anything nefarious. To your other point, Mike, yes, Ilhan Omar should be praising America as the greatest country on the planet. She left Somalia. She fled Somalia as a young girl, and she has risen to the rank of congresswoman in the United States of America. Show me another country where that kind of just character arc is even available. Is that available anywhere else? No? Weird. She should be kissing the ground that she walks on. She should. And then to his other point, what he brought up the apple cider Squirtgate. That's what we called it. You want to know how you know Squirtgate was a hoax? It disappeared from the news just as quickly as it appeared. Total hoax. I got some more highlights. The Democrats took quite a bit of bait. There was many opportunities for them to stand up and applaud. Many great stories. Donald Trump really did thread the needle on the stories inside the chambers. And he did a fantastic job with it when he was giving out the Medals of Honor. Unbelievable. And the Democrats found that as a reason to boo, not stand in applause, and criticize the president in post-speech analysis. Stunning and brave. We'll bring you all that on the way. 10:56. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we've got construction work in Jolton that's impacting 24 westbound right there at the Harper Road overpass. Capitol View, a crash on the right shoulder, 40 eastbound at Church Street, then in Thompson Station, Williamson County. Got bridge repairs, right lane blocked, 840 eastbound between Columbia Pike, exit 28, and 65, exit 31. And in the Burn, they have started the milling and paving work again. Only one lane is open, 24 westbound between Waldron Road and Old Hickory Boulevard. Got full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, about 140 miles east of Nashville, a correctional officer at the Morgan County Correctional Complex was stabbed to death yesterday. State officials say they're investigating the killing as a homicide. They believe an inmate's responsible. Tennessee Department of Correction says the inmate's been moved to another facility. The prison now on lockdown. The officer's name has not yet been released. Authorities in Humphreys County say a student's in custody after allegedly threatening the McEwen school campus this morning. Sheriff's office says school administrators were alerted during student drop-off. A school resource officer responded within minutes, detained the student. Officials say there is no ongoing threat to McEwen High School or McEwen Elementary there in Humphreys County. Tennessee lawmakers weighing Governor Bill Lee's proposal to double the state's private school voucher program to 40,000 slots, a move that would require roughly $300 million in new funding. Channel 4's Stacey Cameron says members of both parties not sold on expansion.
Democrats on the committee have been outspoken against it, and now some Republicans behind closed doors are starting to tell me they want to pump the brakes on the idea too. Why? For one reason, the money needed to grow vouchers would eat up a third of the state's expected increase in education funding this year. And while the Finance Committee hammers out the dollars and cents, Representative Bo Mitchell, a Democrat, is giving Republicans an off-ramp. He's introducing a bill that would flat out kill the voucher program, something he believes some rural Republicans may support in an election year as fear grows that vouchers are taking money from smaller school districts.
Now, the governor insists demand remains strong, pointing to tens of thousands of families who applied for vouchers last year. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share. Do all the things. It's a lot of things, but just do them. Just get them out. Do it now. Get them out of the way.
It's a one and done.
We got Mason Fleming producing.
Trying.
We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. What's up, Ken?
How about you boys?
Man, last night was great. I would say, if I was calculating, I would say it was about 80 to 85% of the audience was there for Ken Weaver.
No, sir.
You're right. It was probably higher.
No way.
At least 96%.
No.
99.7% of the audience showed up for the Weaves.
I don't think that's true, Brother Chris Hand.
Oh.
I know there were a lot of people upset that Mason Fleming wasn't there.
Many.
Yeah, I
Many
had that
such cases.
0.001%.
They wanted to see that magnificent fro in person.
People wanted to see the shimmy fluff.
They did.
Maybe.
Dude, you have got to get a power fist. You've got to get a power fist comb.
Yeah,
and stick it in it, man.
You need
if
that.
it was held together well enough with curls to be able to do that, I absolutely would. But it is still in the growing phase, and so I need to.
Oh, technicalities. You sound
just
like John Thune.
No, don't.
Oh, that's fighting words. Let's be fair.
I'm hurt.
John Thune could never shimmy fluff the way Mason shimmy fluffs.
Watch yourself, John.
John Thune, what a putz.
What a putz.
I just don't like him. Does anybody like John Thune? 615-737-9996. Like, is there anybody in the country who's like, John Thune's my guy?
That's my dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't think about him at all. But is there anybody that's like, that's my dog?
Absolutely not.
Like, remember the viral video like a decade ago? It's like, leave Brittany alone. Is anybody crying for us to leave John Thune alone? Anybody? John Thune, does he have any fans?
Oh,
probably
not many. Well, he might have some among those who stayed seated during last night's State of the Union speech.
True.
I loved it when Trump was talking about the SAVE Act, and he's like, you got to get it done, John. He's like, it's just real quick, side item to get it done, John.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, honestly. But he's not going to. No. The Save America Act is probably never going to reach that talking filibuster and the nuking and all the things that come with it. It's just John Thune is who we thought he was. And when they were talking about, I got a text from Joan Jones.
What's she saying?
I don't know. I feel like if I read this text from Joan Jones on the air, this could be a career ender for Joan.
Don't do it, man. We got to have her.
I'm gonna do it.
She's kind of one of the greatest. You're risking a lot.
I'm gonna do it.
You're not going to John Thune this.
I have the dump button ready.
If you guys want to filibuster me, I'll outlast all of you.
So the beginning of the plot for Treasure Planet starts with...
This is the text I just got from Joan Jones.
Woo!
John Thune is handsome. We just found the president of the John Thune fan club, everybody.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can take the girl out of D.C. You can't take the D.C. out of the girl.
No. She's still got it in her.
I feel like she's just trolling me.
Everybody has a miss every once in a while.
Hey, Joan, what are we doing? What are we doing, Joan? I mean, comparatively speaking, when we look at the last Republican Senate minority leader, Mitch McConnell.
Oh, yeah. Watch what you say, fella.
It's definitely a glow up.
Yeah. It's an upgrade.
It's definitely better.
It's easier to look better than a human turtle.
Don't make me come down there.
I'm sorry, sir. John Thune is handsome. Things I didn't expect to say on the show today. I didn't expect that.
You heard it here first on the Chris Hand Show. Chris thinks that John Thune is...
Oh, Brother Mason, trying to start a narrative.
I make the promos, boys. I make the promos.
I just do the promos, boys. Yeah.
All right. I insult Treasure Planet one time.
And
I roll my eyes when Mason says he likes a straight to VHS Disney movie. And immediately, I'm going to get torn apart because Joan Jones has a bad take. I see what's going on. All right. President Trump's State of the Union last night, it was a good one. I think it was one of his better ones. He stayed on message. He was disciplined. The mainstream media actually gave him passing marks on it. They said that he did a good job. He drew sharp contrast between his policies and the Democrat policies. I also thought he drew a very sharp contrast between his humanity and the Democrats' humanity. There was a lot of guests in the galley, if you will. And he was giving out medals left and right. He gave a medal to Team USA's hockey goalie Connor Hellbuck. I don't do the hockey too much. I know everybody's all jazzed up about it. I didn't get up early. I didn't watch the game, and I don't really care much about the hockey team. Like, I know it's people are gonna be like, what? I do know that they got served Mickey D's before they got out there for the State of the Union, which I thought was pretty cool. And then President Trump gave the goalie the Presidential Medal of Freedom, highest civilian honor. That was cool. President Trump also gave a huge shout out to Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, who was in attendance, and it sounded like this. If I can get some sound on, jeez Louise.
Great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
Erica Kirk was sitting next to the mother and father of Irina Zarutska, and we'll get to that story here
last year, Charlie
momentarily.
was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
Crowd breaks out into a Charlie chant. Very cool. Very cool. I do think that we are feeling the loss of Charlie Kirk now more than ever. Charlie had an ear of the president. He also had the ear of the people, and he was such an intermediary between the two. When President Trump is dropping the ball on some big things, mainly the Epstein files, also with this Iran situation, which could go down a bad road, Charlie was the voice of reason in a lot of those situations. And Charlie would give the president the raw opinion that he needed to hear. And he had that direct line to President Trump. And I do think that we're feeling the loss of Charlie a lot more than we have recently. I mean, you know, I love Charlie Kirk. And I think it's a massive loss. I also have seen have you seen the trailer for the new docu-series that Candace Owens is doing on Erica Kirk? I think that is absolutely abhorrent and evil. And I think there's a lot of people that want to give Candace the benefit of the doubt in the beginning of this. But at this point, how can you look at Candace Owens and take her seriously? She is absolutely monetizing and capitalizing on the death of Charlie Kirk, and she's doing so by trying to tear down Erica, which I just think is evil. People are criticizing Erica for how she's acted in the aftermath of Charlie's assassination. I see a widow who is thinking about her own family, but also the extended TPUSA family. And she's working her ass off, man. She absolutely is. And I still know a lot of people in the organization, and I love those guys. I'm very close to that. I think what Candace is doing is evil. And I think that she should be sued into oblivion, and she should be just absolutely destroyed for it. She's moved the goalposts so many times. I'm over it. I'm always open to new information, but not when Candace is talking about dreams and maroon shirts and Egyptian planes, and every couple of days there's a new random email that she gets that is just groundbreaking, and it's going to blow this whole thing wide open, and we're still waiting for it to be blown wide open. It hasn't happened. President Trump did say something, though, after honoring Charlie, after the chants stopped. They did get a standing ovation from both sides.
Political violence of any kind.
He said we must reject political violence of any kind. After recognizing Charlie Kirk, that got a standing ovation from both the Democrats and the Republicans.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible.
A lot of that's because of Charlie. I thought that was a nice moment, and I was surprised the Democrats chose to stand for that, but they did. But then they started taking the bait almost immediately after. President Trump he highlights and he recognizes Irina Zarutska's mother, and she is standing there sobbing. And you know the story of Irina Zarutska, stabbed to death on a Charlotte light rail train, alone, bled out by herself. Horrifying story. From a career criminal that was led out by a leftist judge and leftist prosecutors, and the guy got slap on the wrist after slap on the wrist after slap on the wrist until finally Irina was murdered. And the Democrats refused to stand for this.
He slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
And her poor mother, I mean, she's just sobbing, and the father's consoling her as best he can, rubbing her back, rubbing her shoulder.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to...
The way he looked at the Democrats, he said, how do you not stand? How do you not stand for that? It highlights everything you need to know. I mean, there were so many opportunities where you could have bridged that gap. Yes, you should stand. You should recognize the mother of Irina. But they can't. These people are evil. And Trump just looks at him so disappointed. He's looking down at them. He's just like, how do you not stand for that? You disgusting, vile people. One of the Democrats is sitting there, and this idiot has a stupid Ukraine flag pin on. Hey, guy, she fled war-torn Ukraine to come here for a better life. You can't stand for her? No. Nope. Heartless and evil. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. The acknowledgments kept going on. President Trump recognized the parents of fallen National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom, killed by an Afghan national in D.C. The whole room gave a standing ovation for that. Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf from the National Guard also got a huge shout out from the president. He survived being shot by that Afghan national in D.C., and then he gave them both Purple Hearts. Sergeant Wolf got his pinned to him. The parents of Sarah Beckstrom got her Purple Heart, and it was a great moment. The family of fallen soldier Sarah Beckstrom, they received one. President Trump awarded the Medal of Honor to Eric Slover, a hero in the raid on Nicolas Maduro. He said the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever. President Trump and First Lady Melania also awarded a 100-year-old veteran Navy fighter, Pilot Royce Williams, with the Medal of Honor. This was a cool moment, and one that I think deserves a moment in time here, because his feat was hidden for 50 years. It was a secret story. Nobody had heard this story, and President Trump told it on one of the biggest stages on the planet. Melania putting the medal around his neck. Ear-to-ear smile from Navy fighter pilot Royce Williams. as he receives his Medal of Honor. Very, very cool moment. This is a living legend. President Trump said his story was secret for 50 years, but tonight, at 100 years old, he's getting the recognition he deserves. Despite being massively outnumbered, outgunned, he led the takedown of 4 enemy jets, vanquished his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. 1952, the dogfight of a lifetime, ambushed in a blizzard by Soviet fighter planes. What an absolute beast. He also served in Korea and Vietnam, flying over 220 missions, and he got recognized last night. That was a fantastic moment. We can look at these moments and we can look at them at face value and be like, man, that is pretty cool. Donald Trump really did work the room. He worked those stories in flawlessly, and we can be like, that was very cool. CNN, on the other hand, they didn't think it was cool at all. In fact, they said it was more akin to a game show
itself. But he utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented to really bring these moments of togetherness that otherwise might not have been there.
It's like a game show. It's just like a game show. Yeah. Okay. President Trump was recognizing heroes, recognizing the fallen, and CNN boils it down to a game show. This is how you know President Trump was winning. They have nothing else to say. They're trying to discredit it in any way that they can, and it comes off flat and bitter and just cold. It's 11:23 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, I do want to play the clips from the speech where he talked about Iran. And then one of the statements about Iran, he brought up the protesters. And as I'm listening to this, we were rewatching the speech after Legends in Smyrna, and I turned to my wife and I said, am I cold for not caring? We'll dive more into that on the way. It's 11:24. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and I got to tell you about my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, and I want to tell you why you can trust Parker Safes and Vaults. These guys do business the old-fashioned way. They only carry products that they believe in. They'll actually answer their phone. They'll show up when they say they will, and they want to build long-term relationships with each and every one of their customers. This used to be the minimum standard. It's not so much anymore, but Aaron Parker does things the old-school way. Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville offers fire-rated, theft-resistant gun safes. We're talking safes that are UL-rated, TL, and TR safes. They're built to resist tool and torch attacks. These are perfect for your firearms, but they're important if you're storing other things, too. Precious metals, jewelry, documents, passports, photo albums, you name it. These are the right safes for you. If a teenager can tip it over, it's a filing cabinet, not a safe. Aaron Parker doesn't carry those. He only carries real deal safes. And he breaks down every safe he has in stock with a detailed video review on their YouTube page. Just search Parker Safes on YouTube or go find the whole inventory online, parkersafes.com. You can always pick up the phone and call Aaron as well. He is happy to discuss anything with you, and he can bring your safe anywhere. He's serving Nashville and the surrounding areas. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Parker Safes and Vaults, protecting what matters the right way. parkersafes.com.
All right, drivers, we've got that construction work getting in the way. 24 westbound through Jolton. We've got 24 westbound through Smyrna and Laverne. Thompson Station, 840 eastbound there between exit 28 and 31. Hermitage, right lane blocked. Old Hickory Boulevard North, right before Juarez Drive. And still no guarantee that the NES board won't raise rates to pay for winter storm recovery. We've got that and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Headlines less than a minute away. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. I was just talking to Mason off the air. So we need a new hotkey. It's like a robot voice that just says leftist alert, leftist alert. We need it.
I'll look into it.
Because I got this text here that we would be using it. We would be warning the people before I read this text that this is a leftist alert. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I got this text, 2242. He said, I know how I wouldn't stand because that fat orange bastard wants it. He wills it. Never give it. Never give it. Not an inch. Midterms, baby, midterms. Then the president lets a prostitute put the Medal of Honor around a man's neck that is supposed to be given only by the president, not some prostitute. What a disgrace to the medal. What a disgrace to that man. What a disgrace to the military. So I responded. I said, dang, you're an angry, bitter leftist, aren't you? Call in. Does anybody think he's going to call in? Probably not. 615-737-9986. We'll keep highlighting the victories from the State of the Union speech, not just for you, but also for the bitter, angry leftists that are listening on the way. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, about 140 miles east of Nashville, a deadly incident at Morgan County Correctional Complex left a Tennessee correctional officer dead. Investigators say an inmate stabbed the officer yesterday. That prompted an immediate lockdown. Tennessee Department of Correction called the loss heartbreaking, says the suspect's been identified and transferred. Officials have not yet released the officer's identity. Here in Nashville, still no guarantee that your NES rates won't raise to pay for winter storm recovery.
We are taking action to mitigate having to increase rates as a result of the storm. FEMA's first line on storm recovery, storm cost recovery, that takes time, however.
That is from the NES board, which is meeting today. Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter says the board has launched an independent investigation of the winter storm response and made changes to how it will respond to severe weather this spring.
They're changing the way they trim trees, increasing the clearance area from 10 feet to 15 feet for all main lines. They will now trim from the ground all the way up past power poles. Also, an outside contractor has been hired to fly planes and special sensors over all 4,800 miles of lines to look for any problems. But all of this, it costs millions of dollars on top of the nearly $140 million NES has spent on storm recovery.
NES board approved a $1 million donation to Need Link to help low-income families. And momentum for the Music City Loop, connecting downtown to the airport with an underground tunnel. Governor Lee says TDOT and the Federal Highway Administration have approved a lease and enhanced grading permit for the Boring Company, which says construction will begin immediately.
Be an a-hole.
Be an a-hole. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Frosty Fusion is here. The mint chocolate sauce this treat was designed to be loved. Be sure to get the new 2 Mints Frosty Fusion soon. Because just like Girl Scout cookie season, it won't be here forever. Plus, don't forget to order your fave cookies.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS, and every homeowner knows this. When your foundation is compromised, nothing else is feeling right. A couple weeks ago, Winter Storm Fern brought in some freezing temperatures. That thawed, then we got some flooding, and then it's the freeze-thaw cycle. And when that happens, foundations are the first to take a hit. This is why so many homeowners trust United Structural Systems. They've been doing the work since 1994, decades of experience helping thousands upon thousands of Tennesseans, over 30,000 to be exact, repair and protect their foundations after storm. And the focus is on doing the job right the first time, so that way you can just be confident in your home again. But USS is more than a foundation company. They're people who step up. This March, they're taking part in their 10th Habitat for Humanity build in Ashland City, with about 25 volunteers helping frame and install roof trusses for a family in need. This tells you everything you need to know about the company that is USS. They stand up and step up for the community. If you've noticed cracks, moisture, or shifting after severe weather, don't wait. Call my guys today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, ussTN.com. $11:36, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We were going to do the lightning round, but we're going to skip it. We're going to keep doing State of the Union stuff because I think that's the big news story of the day.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten to the Iran stuff. So I thought he was going to spend a lot more time on Iran. There were rumors on the internet that he was going to be like, by the way, we're bombing him right now.
Dropping right now.
That would have been cool. I'm not
would have been interesting.
I'm not going to front. That would have been a moment. He didn't bomb him during the speech.
I think for the best, to be honest.
Yeah. I think not bombing them was probably for the best.
Yeah.
But President Trump did lay into Iran. He did. And he says Iran is developing missiles that can reach America. That's the claim. This was the president last night.
1,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After midnight hammer, They were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment, again, pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
Some of the Democrats did stand for that one, just to be fair. Listen, we'll call balls and strikes. Some of the Democrats did stand and applaud that. They'll never have a nuclear weapon. I don't know, man. I'm so wishy-washy on the Iran thing. I get it to a certain extent. The other part of me is like, what are we doing here? It just seems like this is old school neocon stuff. Like we voted in Trump to be the outsider. He was the first conservative, the first Republican that had ever said the Iraq war was a mistake. And I look at this as a future quagmire that I really don't want anything to do with. Maybe the president will thread the needle like he did last time. And I think that's why we're giving him the benefit of the doubt, because we expect him to do things the right way. We'll see what happens. But as he's going on about the protesters, I did find myself turning to my wife and I'm like, is it bad? Is it cold that I don't necessarily care? Like, I have empathy for the protesters. Like, that sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like, as a Christian, I understand that is wrong. But as an American, I'm like, that doesn't move me to want to put our own soldiers at risk when we have our own problems at home. But he made the point that Iran has killed 32,000 of their own people.
1,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them.
And I looked at my wife after this happens, and I was like, am I cold? Am I wrong? That doesn't move me. And there are certain things in these speeches where you're like, okay, I feel like they're presenting a certain piece of stimuli, hoping for a certain reaction. And when I heard the protester line, I'm like, okay, is the reaction that they want from us to be like, hey, man, that's not right. Screw Iran. Like, we can't let them do that. Not on our watch. And I'm like, that's not the reaction you're getting from me. Is it sad that protesters have been killed? Yeah. Yep, it is. Do I have empathy for them? Do I feel for them? I do. Do I think that 32,000 protesters being killed means that we need to go into Iran? No, I don't. And maybe that's where I become cold. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not moved by it. I'm not. It doesn't pull me to want to support military action. Does that pull you to want to support military action? 615-737-9986. We are, $38 trillion, $39 trillion in debt. Hundreds of thousands of Americans dying over here every day because of fentanyl. We have cartels. I mean, Mexico's getting better, but you see the violence and the chaos that the cartels can cause in our own hemisphere. We're absolutely dealing with a scourge of illegal aliens. We have fraud at pretty much every one of our major blue cities in the country. There's a lot of things that we need to do before we get back to being the world police. That's just my opinion. And I do think that line was there for that stimuli, and I didn't bite. I'm not going to bite. It's sad, but okay. And maybe I'm wrong, and I'm open to the fact that I might be wrong. I'm open to the fact that maybe I'm being too cold. Maybe it's too surgical. But I look at that and I say, yeah, that sucks. But I mean, does that mean then we have to go do something about China and the Uyghur Muslims? Does that mean that anytime protesters are fired upon, we have to do something? Like, that's just stupid. That's asinine. And I get Iran is the boogeyman today, but like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm honestly just confused about the Iran situation. And I made the point before, and I'll make it again. If Kamala Harris had won the presidency and she did that targeted strike, on the nuclear facilities and said that they were completely obliterated, and then came back less than a year later and said we might need to do something again, we'd be playing that clip on loop, man. We would be roasting her for that. And you're absolutely lying if you don't think that's the case. We would be screaming at the top of our lungs that this is another forever war, that this is another quagmire that we voted to, that we don't want to be a part of, that we voted Trump in to stop doing. And it does seem like we're staring down the barrel of that again. I'm going to give the president grace and space and hope that he does everything the right way. And if anybody can, it's going to be him. But I'm not moved. I'm not. So it's kind of where I'm at on the Iran stuff. Very briefly mentioned it. He didn't spend a lot of time on the Iran stuff. It seemed a lot more of his night was spent calling out the Democrats on their ridiculous policies, which I think, honestly, was the stronger move to do. We didn't play this clip yet, but Trump railed against the transgender surgeries for minors that have been happening out of this country and exploded under the Biden administration.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Yep.
Amazing. Governor. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
So he says, surely we could all agree that no children should be ripped from their parents to then transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. The Democrats stay seated. They stay seated. This is how radical and far left these people are. Then Trump calls them out, rightfully so. Look at him. Nobody stands up. These people are crazy. And he's right. He's absolutely right. And this is on full display for all of the American people to see. But it kind of goes back to my earlier point with Abigail Spanberger and why she's one of the most dangerous Democrats on the planet. Because she's not going to get pulled into that lefty Fruit Loop kind of stuff. She's going to avoid it like the plague and pretend to be this moderate, pretend to be a female Fetterman. And then when she gets in, she's going to do what we've seen Andy Beshear do over there in Kentucky, another moderate who uses the Bible to justify vetoing bills that would outlaw transitioning minors. These people are sick. These people are evil. The Democrats like Abigail Spanberger or Andy Beshear, wolf in sheep's clothing. But the people out there this evening, last evening that didn't stand up, I mean, they're just wolves. They're not even hiding it. They're crazy. These people are insane. And Donald Trump did an exceptional job highlighting this over and over and over again. So many moments for the Democrats to not take the bait, but they took it every single step of the way. It was something to be seen. Donald Trump, if I was going to grade the speech, I would give it about a B+. He stayed on message. It was one of his better speeches. He was coherent. He had energy all night long, and I thought he did a great job. He highlighted affordability, and he said, we're not where we need to be, but we're working towards it. He talked about strength abroad, strength at home. He laid out his plans on a number of different things. Energy, affordability, foreign policy, and he did it every step of the way, calm, cool, and collected. He didn't lose his mind. He didn't get off track. He didn't let the Democrats get in the way. He just crushed, and I was very impressed. Your thoughts at 615-737-9986. Let's go to David, who is calling from California. What's up, Dave? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, thanks. I got to disagree with Trump there. First of all, when he was talking about the kids with the sex change business, people have been talking about for over 25 years that there are kids that are born in polluted areas and they basically have no sex. They're either sterile or they've got, all sorts of birth defects from soft tissue damage. If you imagine a pregnant mother and she's got a brand new carpet, a lot of those brand new carpets outgassed either benzene or formaldehyde. And she'd be walking around the house breathing in those nasty gases. And the fetus, the baby, would be birth defects from soft tissue. And so that was about the turn of the century, 26 years ago. And at that time, there was a book written called Our Stolen Future, and they were saying that about 25% of the kids that were being born had soft tissue damage. It could be hearing, soft tissue could be eyes, lungs, it could be organs. And
while that's all interesting and definitely worth a conversation that I would absolutely be willing to have. I mean, you're in California. They just passed, Was it Assembly Bill 1955? And the law prohibits schools, including districts, county offices of education, charter schools, and state special schools from enacting or enforcing any policy, rule, or regulation that requires employees or contractors to disclose a student's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression to anyone, including parents.
Right. Yeah. Freedom of privacy. Right.
The kids deserve privacy from the parents?
No, you're talking about that. What I'm saying is Donald Trump is kissing up to the polluters. The polluters need to pay for what they've done to these kids.
Are the polluters okay? Let's put the pollution to the side.
No, we don't put the pollution to the side. They caused this problem. And now these kids, some of them, you're basically talking about plastic surgery.
No. A lot of this is cultural. And I'm willing to have the conversation with you. Yes, it absolutely is. Why did you see it explode with Gen Zers? Because it became socially acceptable and cool. No.
Yes, it is.
No,
and
you were so off the mark. I'm willing to concede some of that to you, but you're so off the mark on that being the root cause of this. The root cause of this is just liberal ideology, the social contagion, how they made it cool, and how with the victim Olympics of the Democrat Party, you might be white, but gee whiz, you're gay and you're trans now. Stunning and brave.
Yeah, that's big funny. But the fact of the matter is the pollution also causes, like they've talked about kids that were born near chicken processing plants. And that chicken processing will give you high levels of estrogen so that kids will actually...
And so will plastics, so will parabens, so will all of this stuff. Okay.
So it's polluters.
Okay. So only the transgender kids are growing up near chicken farms?
Pollution is causing a massive amount of change in...
I mean, I'm willing to concede some of that to you. But if you're not willing to concede that some of this is social and cultural, then we are well off the mark. And then there are laws. I mean, like this one where schools don't have to tell parents if their kids are going by a different name or using different pronouns. That's a huge wedge between kids and parents. That's a bridge too far. Or how about the case? I have an interview on our YouTube page. I would love for you to take a listen to, where you have a dad. His name's Jeff Younger, and his wife wants to chemically and socially transition their son. But when the son's with the dad, he says, "Dad, mom's doing this to me." And he loses all parental rights. And so this kid is now given to this psychopath mother who is going to chop off healthy parts of his body. That's not right, whether he was born near a chicken farm and the pollution got to him or not. Can you at least agree with that?
I have no, you may be talking about some strange anomaly of a case, but the fact of the matter is that polluters have caused this, and the reason why you guys keep talking about it is you're kissing up to the advertisers who are the polluters. Okay. And the polluters do not want to pay for the damages that they've caused to America's probably two generations. Because
what about the medical providers? I had a detransitioner in here a couple days ago. Her name was Chloe Cole. Great interview. The medical providers actually told her parents that if they didn't transition her, she was going to commit suicide and they were going to lose their daughter. Do they deserve to be held accountable like the polluters?
Well, you're talking about suicide. That gets into whole lay. I'm no shrink, and I have no way of knowing any of this. So, I'm just telling you that polluters have caused this issue, and that they've trapped the political parties into playing games with each other, and the polluters walk away with a pocket full of change.
So do the medical providers. Do you have anything to say about the medical providers?
Let them look for this book. It's called Our Stolen Future.
No.
It was written, I believe, in 1999.
That wasn't the question. What about the doctors? What about the doctors? What about the doctors that
comes into it? The medical professionals comes into it because some of this was happening at that time. Sex change stuff was uncommon. Like in about 1970, I think there was
the first one was done.
Movie.
The first one was done in the 30s in Germany. Was the pollution causing that then too?
You mean the first sex change?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Interesting.
I'm just saying that there was a famous movie about a woman that did a sex change.
I mean, I'm open. I'm open to the pollution conversation. I really am. But it doesn't seem like you're open to the crazy leftist liberal ideology conversation, which I think is driving a huge part of this.
To me, it's not. You're calling it crazy leftist, blah blah blah. That's what the polluters want you to say.
No. I'm calling it this. I'm calling it this because when gay marriage was legalized in this country, you had a bunch of nonprofits who had been cooking on this gay marriage issue, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The CEOs were making buku bucks of these nonprofits. And then when gay marriage was legalized, they didn't know what to do. So they went to the next social issue, which was transgender, and made that their new pet cause. And then they have hoisted this and pushed it on the kids. And it's evil. Like, do you blame pollution for Transformers to put out a new season of their show where they have a transgender robot? That's preconditioning these kids. That is not anything to do with pollution other than pollution of the mind. Do you at least acknowledge some of that?
You're falling for the trap, man. That's all I can say.
No,
I'm
not falling for the trap at all. I'm trying to protect American kids.
Sure you are. Sure you are. Do you think that the name of the game is that the world has been very much damaged by pollution. In fact, the weather changes that are going on right now is global warming.
Oh my gosh, you really are. You really are from California, aren't you, Dave? In the 70s they told us an ice age was coming. What happened, man? They told me me in the 90s in school acid rain was coming. What happened, man?
Do you know the structure of what happens when CO2 happens? It heats up, becomes greenhouse gases, heats up the planet, and then all of a sudden the clouds get so heavy that slam, bam, it gets another ice age. That's the structure of how CO2 the rise of CO2
Dave, I appreciate the science class. I love you, man. I pray that you get an eye-opening revelation to what's truly happening within the transgender ideology. And you're welcome to call back into the show anytime. It's 11:57. Went way too long, but I appreciate you guys sticking out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.